the Education Department in KwaZulu-Natal has been honoring top matric achievers. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan is attending that session, which is in full swing. What is it that we're seeing and hearing there, Karinda? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Dudu. Well, the event is still underway, and right now it's the most important part for the top achievers because they're going to be receiving their awards. In fact, the national top achiever, so the student who performed the best countrywide, is from KZN, and you'll see her on the stage in just a moment. My colleague Spongiseng Kubande will show you what's happening as I just explain some statistics to you. Now, KwaZulu-Natal has made a major leap with regards to matric results. In fact, in 2021, we had a 76% pass rate, but this year, KZN leaped up to the 80% bracket, something we didn't see since 2019. So it's a major achievement. We've got the 83% pass rate this year. We're third provincially, we're third countrywide in terms of per province pass rate. In terms of the number of learners, out of 164,000 learners, we know that 136,000 learners passed. And what we also know right now is that no school in this province obtained a 0% pass rate. So it's indeed a good news day for this province. But what we're also seeing is that several districts in KwaZulu-Natal obtained astounding pass rates, including we had the Ugu district for the third consecutive year passing at 87%, and the list goes on. So what we heard today was a number of achievements that this province received because of hard-working matriculants who've been through a lot over the past 3 years. Remember, when they were in high school in 2020, they had the COVID-19 pandemic to deal with. In 2021, the July unrest to deal with, which would have affected their mid-year exams. And then, of course, in 2022, last year, they had the April floods to deal with. It was affecting their final exams. We spoke to some learners on the ground, and they say that despite those hardships, they still worked extremely hard. And, of course, they're celebrating that today. Right now on stage, you're seeing matriculants from the Correctional Services Department in KZN receiving awards. Remember, they also wrote the exams at the end of last year, and so these are the top 5 learners that you're seeing. These are males from the various districts as well. On the corner, you're also going to see some of the top matriculant achievers from the various public schools in the province, including the national achiever as well. So Dudu, it is definitely a time of celebration for KwaZulu-Natal, something maybe that the province needs at this time, considering the various crises that we have been experiencing, specifically the load shedding crisis as well as socio-economic factors. So this is the time when just in this particular venue, I'm seeing a lot of parents shedding some tears as well, tears of happiness to see their children pass in this manner. And of course there you see the learners from the Correctional Services Department. This is an important day for them as well because of course they have been going through the rehabilitation process. Now coming through is learners from special schools in the province, so learners who have been faced with physical disabilities or learning disabilities that have surpassed those challenges to gain astounding marks as well in their own field. So it is, as each learner comes up, this is a time for parents to celebrate. From about 10 o'clock when this event started, there were speeches by the Education MEC, by the Premier, and it was quite a quiet time, but now we're really hearing the noise from the parents and the pupils, what they have been waiting for. So stay with us because we're going to keep showing you in a few moments some of the top matriculants from other schools. They're just lining up to get their awards, and right now presenting the awards are the various government delegates as well. So we'll keep you updated just as they come on stage.
Yeah, in fact, Karinda, like you rightfully mentioned, that province in particular, learners having made it, like the Education Minister had said yesterday, against all odds. You mentioned the floods, you mentioned some of the socio-economic challenges that they were faced with, some people even studying at the shelters that they had to stay in because they were displaced.
Absolutely. We know that along with these various aspects, the COVID-19 pandemic, July unrest, the April floods, there's also a socio-economic crisis that the country is experiencing amidst load shedding. So it has been a difficult time for learners. We spoke to one pupil from Msinga, Northern KwaZulu-Natal. She's here to achieve her award today. And the school that she hails from is in a largely rural area. But she says that it was big ups to her teachers, she used the words, because she said that they went the extra mile to stay at school with pupils until late in the night, bringing extra lights as well through to assist the pupils to learn and study for the exams when they couldn't do this at home. And that really is the extra mile. A lot of the conversation here today, as learners are receiving their awards, is praising teachers for the work that they do, not just in matric, but from grade R's, grade 1, when they're teaching young kids what we believe are simple things like spelling and grammar, but something that they're teaching the young kids and making young children, young school pupils understand the importance of education going forward. There has been concerns about media reports at this point about the number of pupils who entered the school system in 2011 compared to those who have qualified for their matric exams at this point. Back in 2011, at least 1 million young children entered grade 1, but at this point, just over 700,000 have completed their matric exam. So there's also been concern raised about the number of pupils that have either dropped out of the school system for various reasons and not making it to qualify for their matric exam. So that's been a major concern. Of course, later today there's going to be a media briefing by the Education MEC, especially to discuss a way forward of various concerns that have been raised at school, particularly racism. Over the last year, we have seen reports at various schools about allegations or incidents of racism appearing. So we're going to see what she has to say about that, because she was due to actually release a report into one particular school, and that has not been done since. And of course, that plays a major role in how pupils are feeling about attending school in the first place and enjoying their time at school and learning and studying. We'll be speaking to her about that, as well as then speaking to the girl who has scored the highest marks countrywide. She is from KwaZulu-Natal, and she'll of course have some advice for others out there who are entering to their matric year, as well as we'll also speak to her parents and her school principal about creating a space for learners to essentially do their best at school. Right now, there's still learners coming through. You'll see some just really strutting along the stage and owning this moment, because it is their moment. They've worked very hard through trying conditions, as we mentioned. They're getting their certificate as well as a prize, a gift as well, to say congratulations and well done on this achievement. What we've also learned today, Gugu, the KZN Premier telling us, is that there are more female matriculants that have excelled than males. Of course, just in terms of knowing the disparity, gender disparity we have had historically, is also a good news, and something that many women here in this crowd really jumped up and celebrated too, to know that young women who have experienced challenges are excelling at their schooling career. And of course, then wise words from the Premier at the end of the speech and before the exams began is she said that to the learners is that the world is their oyster, and this is their time to move on, go into the real world where there will be some challenges they'll have to overcome, but having gone through this 12 years of schooling, they will have had the necessary equipment, the necessary knowledge they'll need to go through into this next chapter of their lives.
Karinda, Jagmohan, thank you very much for that comprehensive update. We'll touch base with you a little bit later on.